In a thunderous display that shook the very foundations of modern warfare, Russia's behemoth, the 7,100-pound FAB 5000 bomb, has emerged as a game-changing force in the Ukrainian conflict. As the smoke clears and military experts worldwide lean forward in their chairs, all eyes are fixed on this massive weapon that's rewriting the rules of engagement. Picture this: a single bomb, weighing as much as 3 average cars combined, descending from the sky with enough power to alter the landscape below. The FAB 5000 isn't just another addition to Russia's arsenal. It's a statement that echoes across battlefields and diplomatic chambers alike. As tensions between Russia and Ukraine reach new heights, this colossal weapon has stepped out of the shadows, demanding our attention and raising alarming questions about the future of modern combat. Join us as we peel back the layers of this extraordinary weapons story. We'll journey from its conception on drawing boards to its earth-shattering impact on today's battlefield. What secrets lie within its massive frame? How has its deployment sent shockwaves through military strategies worldwide? And most crucially, could this metal giant truly be the game-changer that shifts the tides of this bitter conflict? Brace yourself for a deep dive into the world of military innovation and strategic warfare. This is the story of the FAB 5000, where engineering meets destruction, and where the future of combat might just be taking a dramatic turn. As the world burned in the flames of World War II, a weapon of unprecedented power was taking shape in Soviet laboratories. The year was 1943, and while nations raced to outmatch each other in the art of destruction, Soviet engineers were crafting what would become a legend in aerial warfare: the FAB 5000. Born from the urgent need to crack Germany's most formidable defenses, this behemoth wasn't just another bomb. It was the Soviet Union's answer to the challenge of impenetrable fortifications. Picture the scene: a massive Petlyakov P-8 bomber, engines straining against the weight of its extraordinary payload, approaching its target. Below, German forces had no idea they were about to witness history. The first deployment of the FAB 5000 left more than just destruction in its wake. It left a psychological scar that rippled through enemy ranks. Miles away, soldiers felt the ground shake beneath their feet, a haunting reminder of this new weapon's devastating potential. This wasn't just a bomb. It was a message written in steel and explosives. The numbers alone tell a story of awesome power: 5,000 kilograms of total weight, housing an earth-shattering 3,200 kilograms of high explosives. But it's the intricate details of its design that truly reveal the genius behind this monster. Inside its relatively thin yet sturdy shell, a deadly cocktail of TNT, RDX, and aluminum powder waited to unleash hell. Like a carefully orchestrated symphony of destruction, each component played its part: the TNT providing raw explosive force, the RDX adding devastating power, and the aluminum powder creating an inferno hot enough to melt steel. Standing over 3 meters tall, the FAB 5000's sleek cylindrical frame belied its destructive capability. Its designers had pushed the boundaries of aerospace engineering, creating a bomb that could remain stable during high-altitude drops while carrying maximum explosive payload. The fins weren't just appendages. They were the guardian angels ensuring this harbinger of destruction hit its mark with deadly precision. Deploying the FAB 5000 wasn't just a military operation. It was a carefully choreographed dance of death. Only the mighty P-8 bomber, specifically modified for this task, could bear the burden of carrying such a massive weapon. Each mission was a testament to human ingenuity and determination, requiring precise calculations, perfect weather conditions, and nerves of steel from the crew. But the FAB 5000 was more than just a weapon of physical destruction. Its very existence served as a psychological weapon, striking fear into the hearts of enemies who knew their strongest bunkers could be reduced to rubble by this aerial titan. The complex deployment process, from the reinforced bomb bays to the delayed fuse mechanisms, spoke volumes about the Soviet commitment to overwhelming force. Despite the logistical challenges, the need for extensive planning, the requirement for air superiority, and the vulnerability of the slow-moving delivery aircraft, the FAB 5000 remained a symbol of Soviet military might. Each successful mission reinforced its reputation as a game-changing weapon that could alter the course of battles through sheer destructive power. This marvel of wartime engineering wasn't just a bomb, it was a turning point in the evolution of aerial warfare. Its legacy lives on, not just in military history books, but in the design principles that continue to influence modern strategic weapons. The FAB 5000 stands as a testament to an era when the boundaries of what was possible in warfare were being rewritten with each passing day. In the frost-bitten battlefields of Ukraine, a ghost from the past has awakened. The FAB 5000, a titan of destruction born in the fires of World War II, has returned to spread its shadow across a new generation of warfare. Like a sleeping dragon roused from decades of slumber, this Soviet-era colossus has emerged in places like Bakhmut and Kharkiv, where the earth itself trembles at its touch. This isn't just another weapon deployment, it's a statement written in craters and chaos. Military analysts, their faces illuminated by screens displaying satellite imagery of devastation, speak in hushed tones about what this means. Russia's decision to unleash this behemoth speaks volumes. When precision-guided missiles run low, they've turned to the brute force of history. It's as if the Cold War arsenal has been unlocked, and its most terrifying residents are being unleashed one by one. In the command centers of Kiev and the corridors of power worldwide, the message is clear: this is no ordinary escalation. The FAB 5000's reappearance marks a dark new chapter in a conflict already stained with the ink of destruction. Each deployment sends ripples through the international community, not just of shockwaves, but of growing concern about what other slumbering giants might be awakened next. Imagine standing in Kharkiv as the sky splits open. The FAB 5000 doesn't just destroy, it erases. Where buildings once stood proud against the Ukrainian sky, massive craters now yawn like open wounds in the earth. Infrastructure that took decades to build vanishes in seconds. Power stations, bridges, and roads, the very arteries of civilian life, crumble like sandcastles before a tidal wave. The stories from survivors paint a picture more vivid than any satellite image. "It was like the Earth itself was trying to swallow us whole," recalls one resident, their voice trembling at the memory. "The ground didn't just shake, it danced." Miles from ground zero, windows explode inward, and car alarms wail in a chorus of mechanical panic. In one heart-wrenching incident, a residential building that had weathered decades of Ukrainian winters simply ceased to exist, taking with it the dreams and memories of countless families. But the FAB 5000's true devastation isn't measured just in rubble and ruins. Its shadow looms larger in the minds of those who live beneath its threat. Children freeze at the sound of distant aircraft. Parents sleep fully clothed, ready to run at a moment's notice. The psychological scars run deeper than any crater, etching themselves into the collective consciousness of entire communities. The humanitarian crisis unfolds like a dark tapestry. Relief workers, their faces etched with exhaustion, race against time in areas where time itself seems to have stopped. Clean water becomes more precious than gold. Hospitals, those that remain standing, overflow with the wounded. Each new dawn brings fresh challenges. How to rebuild when the very ground beneath your feet might disappear at any moment. Meanwhile, in the halls of international justice, voices rise in anger and concern. Human rights organizations document each impact, building cases that may one day see courtrooms. World leaders condemn these attacks with increasing urgency, their words echoing against the backdrop of continued explosions. But for now, the FAB 5000 continues its deadly work, rewriting the rules of modern warfare with each earth-shattering detonation. Imagine wielding a hammer that could crack mountains. That's the FAB 5000. Like a force of nature compressed into metal and explosives, this behemoth turns fortified bunkers into memories and transforms industrial complexes into scattered debris. When this titan descends from the sky, it doesn't just destroy targets, it rewrites landscapes. Consider a fortress built to withstand conventional attacks. Layers of reinforced concrete, steel-lined chambers, years of engineering rendered futile in seconds. The FAB 5000 penetrates these defenses like a hot knife through butter, its massive payload burrowing deep before unleashing an apocalyptic fury. But its true power lies not just in what it destroys, but in what it creates: fear. Picture enemy commanders monitoring their radar screens, knowing that somewhere above, this monster lurks. The mere possibility of its deployment sends ripples through battle plans and strategies. Even when it's not falling, the FAB 5000 haunts the minds of those who understand its capabilities. Its presence alone can force enemies to disperse their forces, abandon strongholds, or rethink their entire defensive posture. Yet, like trying to choreograph a dance with a dinosaur, deploying the FAB 5000 is an exercise in managing enormous challenges. Its 11,000-pound bulk demands special consideration. You can't just strap this beast to any aircraft and hope for the best. Think of it as trying to deliver a small car from the sky. You need specialized aircraft, reinforced delivery systems, and crews trained to handle this extraordinary payload. The logistics read like a theater producer's nightmare. First, you need the right stage, an aircraft capable of cradling this metallic giant. Then comes the weather report. Clear skies aren't just preferred, they're essential. A crosswind that might merely inconvenience a regular bomb could send the FAB 5000 drastically off course, turning a precision strike into an unpredictable gamble. Imagine threading a needle while riding a motorcycle. That's the level of precision required. The delivery aircraft must maintain optimal altitude and speed, all while potentially dodging anti-aircraft fire and enemy fighters. It's a complex ballet performed at high altitude, where one misstep could spell disaster. Then there's the elephant in the room, the ethical dilemma. When your weapon's blast radius resembles a small apocalypse, choosing targets becomes a moral minefield. Urban areas become nearly impossible to target without risking massive civilian casualties. Each deployment must be weighed against international laws and humanitarian concerns. Think of it like using a sledgehammer to perform surgery. Sometimes the tool is simply too powerful for the task at hand. Military planners must constantly balance the weapon's devastating effectiveness against its potential for unintended consequences. In the age of precision warfare, wielding such a blunt instrument requires careful consideration and often reluctant restraint. The FAB 5000 thus emerges as a paradox of modern warfare, a weapon so powerful that its very strength becomes its limitation. Like a chess piece that can only move under specific conditions, its deployment must be carefully orchestrated, its targets meticulously selected, and its consequences thoroughly considered. In the end, possessing such devastating power doesn't always translate to tactical advantage. Sometimes it just means having to be more careful about how you use it. Picture a Ukrainian soldier, hardened by months of combat, suddenly confronted with a weapon that turns fortifications into dust clouds. The FAB 5000's arrival in Ukraine hasn't just changed the physical battlefield, it's invaded the minds of those fighting this war. This isn't merely about dodging bullets anymore. It's about living under the shadow of a weapon that can erase entire positions with a single strike. Consider the psychological equation. How do you maintain courage when each distant aircraft could be carrying 5 tons of annihilation? For Ukrainian forces, already locked in an asymmetric struggle against a larger adversary, the FAB 5000 represents more than just another weapon. It's a looming reminder of their vulnerability. Every day becomes a test of nerve as defenders scan the skies, knowing that somewhere above, this monster might be waiting to descend. The strain shows in small ways at first: the tensing of shoulders at aircraft sounds, the extra glances skyward, the subtle reshaping of defensive strategies. But over time, it accumulates like invisible weight, grinding down unit cohesion and testing the limits of human endurance. Commanders witness their troops battling not just the enemy, but also the constant anxiety of knowing what might come from above. But for civilians, the psychological burden cuts even deeper. Imagine being a parent in Kharkiv, where every air raid siren might herald the arrival of this aerial titan. The FAB 5000 doesn't just destroy buildings, it shatters the very concept of safety. When a weapon can turn your neighborhood into a crater, where do you hide? How do you explain to your children why the ground itself might betray them at any moment? The stories emerge like whispers from the rubble. Families sleeping in their clothes, ready to run, children who freeze at the sound of distant engines. elderly residents who refuse to leave their homes despite the danger, claiming they'd rather face the bombs than become refugees. The trauma writes itself into daily routines, the careful monitoring of air raid alerts, the mental mapping of the nearest shelters, the constant calculation of escape routes. Social media amplifies these fears, turning each explosion into a viral moment of shared terror. Videos of the FAB 5000's devastation spread rapidly, carrying their psychological payload far beyond the impact zones. Even in regions yet untouched by the weapon, its reputation travels like a dark legend, seeding anxiety and eroding the fabric of normal life. Mental health professionals working in the conflict zone report a surge in anxiety disorders, depression, and PTSD. Children draw pictures of bombs instead of sunshine, while their parents struggle to maintain a sense of normalcy in a world where normalcy seems like a distant memory. The psychological impact cascades through generations, today's trauma becoming tomorrow's inherited burden. This invisible damage extends beyond individual psyches to corrode the very foundations of society. Trust in institutions wavers as citizens question their government's ability to protect them from such overwhelming force. Communities fragment as some flee while others stay, each decision carrying its own weight of guilt and uncertainty. The FAB 5000 thus achieves a kind of victory even when it doesn't fall, its mere existence becoming a weapon against the human spirit itself. On the global chessboard of war, Russia's deployment of the FAB 5000 represents more than just a tactical choice. It's a statement written in craters and consequences. Like a player revealing their strongest piece, Russia's use of this behemoth weapon sends shockwaves through military and diplomatic circles alike. Each detonation echoes beyond the immediate blast zone, reverberating through command centers, foreign capitals, and international institutions. Picture the strategic calculus. Russian commanders wielding a weapon that can shatter not just buildings, but entire defensive strategies. Every FAB 5000 deployment disrupts more than just supply lines. It forces Ukrainian forces to completely rethink their positions, draining resources and attention as they scramble to adapt. Its psychological warfare meets strategic necessity, with each explosion sending a clear message. Escalation is not just possible, but probable. Yet in the complex web of international relations, such raw displays of power come with hidden costs. Every crater becomes evidence, every civilian casualty a potential war crime, every destroyed building another reason for global condemnation. Russia's strategic gambit has inadvertently united its opponents, turning international opinion into a weapon against itself. Sanctions tighten, alliances strengthen, and support for Ukraine swells with each devastating blast. For Ukraine, the challenge becomes a delicate balance of resilience and adaptation. Imagine military planners huddled over maps, calculating new defensive positions while knowing that traditional fortifications might prove futile against such overwhelming force. The rush to acquire better air defense systems intensifies, deepening ties with Western allies, but also increasing dependency on external support. The international community's reaction has been swift and multifaceted. Human rights organizations document each strike with meticulous detail, building cases that could one day see courtrooms. The United Nations statistics tell a grim story. Over 12,300 civilian deaths, each number representing a life cut short, a family shattered, a community wounded. Within NATO's corridors of power and EU conference rooms, emergency meetings convene as leaders grapple with this escalation. The FAB 5000's deployment has forced a reassessment of support for Ukraine, pushing discussions beyond diplomatic statements into concrete action. Air defense capabilities, once a consideration, become an urgent priority. Meanwhile, humanitarian organizations race against time and destruction. In cities scarred by these massive bombs, aid workers navigate rubble-strewn streets, providing essential support to shell-shocked communities. Every crater left by the FAB 5000 becomes a challenge for future reconstruction, a reminder that the cost of war extends far beyond the immediate conflict. The strategic implications stretch into the future like long shadows. Each bombing makes post-war recovery more challenging, requiring not just physical reconstruction, but social and psychological healing. The FAB 5000's legacy will be measured not just in destruction, but in the years of rebuilding, the generations of trauma, and the reshaping of international relations in response to its use. This weapon has become more than just a tool of war. It's a catalyst for change in the global order, forcing nations to confront hard questions about power, responsibility, and the future of warfare itself. In the high-stakes game of aerial warfare, Ukraine's defense system resembles a complex tapestry, woven from both battle-tested Soviet engineering and cutting-edge Western technology. Picture a defensive network where aging S-300s stand shoulder to shoulder with sophisticated Patriot batteries, each system covering the other's blind spots, each contributing to a shield that must stop everything from nimble drones to massive bombs. This isn't just about having the right equipment, it's about orchestrating a deadly dance of detection and response. The S-300, a veteran of Cold War tensions, reaches into the sky with its long-range missiles, while the more agile Buk M1 systems patrol the middle altitudes. Think of them as the old guards, still vigilant but showing their age against modern threats that move faster, hit harder, and come with tricks their designers never imagined. Enter the new defenders, NASAMS and IRIS-T SLM, Western-supplied systems that bring modern innovation to Ukraine's arsenal. These aren't just upgrades, they're game-changers. NASAMS, with its advanced radar and versatile missiles, doesn't just see threats, it predicts them, tracking multiple targets simultaneously across the sprawling Ukrainian sky. The German IRIS-T SLM joins this modern vanguard, adding another layer of sophisticated protection to Ukraine's aerial armor. At the pinnacle of this defensive pyramid stands the Patriot system, a technological marvel that can track and engage threats that older systems might not even detect. It's like adding a chess grandmaster to a team of skilled players. It doesn't just defend, it anticipates, strategizes, and adapts to the enemy's moves. But here's where the plot thickens. Defending against the FAB 5000 is like trying to catch a falling mountain. These massive bombs, relying purely on gravity's embrace, present a unique puzzle for even the most advanced air defense systems. They're not guided missiles that can be fooled or drones that can be jammed. They're simply massive pieces of metal and explosives, plummeting toward their targets with terrifying simplicity. Ukraine's strategy has evolved accordingly. Rather than trying to intercept these behemoths mid-fall, the focus shifts to preventing their deployment altogether. This means engaging the delivery aircraft before they can release their deadly cargo. It's a game of high-altitude chess, where NASAMS operators and Patriot crews must spot and neutralize potential bomb-carrying aircraft before they reach their release points. But success in this endeavor depends on a delicate balance of factors. Imagine a conductor trying to lead an orchestra where some musicians are playing modern instruments while others use antique ones, all while the concert hall is under attack. The effectiveness of the defense relies not just on the quality of the systems, but on how well they can work together, how quickly operators can react, and whether they can handle multiple threats simultaneously in the chaos of modern warfare. Ukraine isn't just waiting for the next FAB 5000 to fall, it's revolutionizing its defensive playbook. Picture a network of advanced sensors and warning systems spreading across Ukrainian cities like a protective web, where every potential threat triggers an immediate response. At the heart of this network lies the sophisticated Zeva Atom system, borrowed from Israel's battle-tested arsenal. Think of it as a guardian angel with electronic eyes, constantly scanning the skies for danger. This isn't your grandfather's air raid siren. When Zeva Atom spots a threat, it sets in motion a precisely choreographed defensive dance. Within seconds, alerts ripple through military channels and civilian networks. In command centers across Ukraine, operators spring into action, while civilians receive precious minutes to seek shelter, minutes that can mean the difference between life and death. But the real game-changer waits in the wings, the legendary F-16 Fighting Falcon. These aren't just aircraft, they're airborne interceptors that could rewrite the rules of engagement. Imagine these steel warriors patrolling Ukrainian skies, their advanced radar systems peering deep into enemy territory, ready to engage bomb-carrying aircraft long before they reach their release points. The F-16s bring more than just speed and firepower to the fight. They represent a quantum leap in capability, the ability to take the fight to the enemy, to deny them the freedom to deploy weapons like the FAB 5000 with impunity. Each jet becomes a mobile fortress, equipped with systems that can track, target, and eliminate threats before they materialize. In the realm of electronic warfare, Ukraine is crafting an invisible shield against precision-guided threats. Think of it as a digital smokescreen, where sophisticated jamming systems create confusion in enemy targeting systems. While the FAB 5000 might be immune to such electronic trickery due to its gravity-guided nature, these systems prove invaluable against other precision weapons in Russia's arsenal. This multi-layered approach, combining early warning systems, advanced interceptors, and electronic warfare, creates a defensive matrix that's greater than the sum of its parts. Each element supports the others, filling gaps, providing redundancy, and ensuring that no threat goes unnoticed or unchallenged. It's a shield built not just of metal and circuits, but of innovation and determination, designed to protect Ukrainian skies from weapons that could reshape the battlefield with a single strike. As we close this chapter on the FAB 5000, we're left with a sobering reality. A Soviet-era colossus has awakened in modern warfare, reshaping not just battlefields, but the very nature of conflict. This 7,100-pound behemoth doesn't just destroy targets, it leaves behind questions about the future of warfare and humanity's capacity for destruction. Yet in the shadow of this weapon, we see hope, international cooperation, advancing defensive technologies, and a global community united against indiscriminate destruction. The FAB 5000 story reminds us that in an age of precision warfare, the return to overwhelming force signals not strength, but perhaps desperation. If this deep dive into modern warfare's evolution has helped you understand the complexities of today's conflicts, why not join our community of informed viewers? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on our military analysis series. And if you found this breakdown valuable, that like button helps us reach more people who share your interest in understanding the forces shaping our world. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.